And that's the way active faith works. It's much like the flight of a bird. You see, he takes his great wings and he flaps against the sky. And lift and flight, the graciousness and the glory of flight is taking place when wing and wind marry. Or when faith and grace marry. Or when confidence or dependency and impartation of God is married. Or when trust and God's power marry. He supplies the lift. I supply the faith. He supplies the lift. And we have flight. And you see, for the bird to fly, he has to live in one now at a time. He can't be thinking about the future. You have to be thinking about now, because your faith, your wings will lift against his grace, against his impartation, and it will lift you up therein until you are enthroned in the skies, high above the clouds, enthroned in heaven, seated with him in heavenly places. That is your home. Have you ever watched a bird fly and its glory thereof? The gracefulness as it dances in the wind, taking upon impartation, flying, lifting himself up by now faith, believing God now as he flies. Each flap is a now moment, believing God to move now, actively, knowing that God is moving now, and knowing that he's moving now, and knowing that he's moving now. That's how flight is. Not thinking about the next flap, not thinking about the next situation, not thinking about the next problem. Oh, you can plan for it, but you still have to live in the now to find the kingdom of God, the impartation, the movement of his spirit now, not tomorrow, not 3 flaps down. You focus on now, and you take flight and be enthroned in the sky that is your home, in the heavens, in the kingdom of God, seated with him in heavenly places, dancing in the wind, in a graceful display of marriage, of wind and wing, of faith and grace, of trust, dependency, confidence, and his impartation, his glory, and his power. Now. You see, as you actively know that he's moving now, you become attuned to what he's saying and to what he's doing. As you actively remain attuned to the now, not focused on the next step, even though you know it's coming and you have a plan for it, you lay your plans aside and you're focused on knowing that God is moving now. Be still and know that he is God. Now watch. A bird, as he finds his now moment, even now as the season begins to change, has changed to the fall, the bird will begin to think about flying south. And there's this innate understanding and direction engrafted deep within the bird's heart, woven in him while yet in his mother's womb, knowing how to get there. And haven't you ever noticed how birds tend to fly south in an organized fashion, a V formation? Who tells them how to do that? You see, as you find your now movement and you take flight and you soar in the heavens, high above smallness, sickness, high above the ills of earth, you'll begin to run into others who have found their now and begin to be so joined to them. And you'll find yourself in formation, in God's order. You may not understand it. Even now, as we look upon the formation of birds flying south, scarcely even now can our scientists grasp what is happening, how they're doing this, how they know their way. We just accept that it's so. And so too will you. As you find your flap, as you find your active faith, walking now in active faith, you will find yourself being brought into a formation. Some will be in before you, some will be behind you. Don't look down upon those behind you, neither scorn or be jealous of those ahead of you. Haven't you noticed that there is a leader? Who ascribed him as leader? God did. And his days of leadership are numbered. And then there's a shifting. You see, God is saying there's a bigger picture. You have a destiny and you have a purpose. And as you find your flap, as you find your now moment, God is going to bring you into your purpose and into the formation wherein you've been ascribed, wherein you've been destined, and wherein you are purposed. And you will find your place for once and for all, soaring high above the smallness of sickness and poverty and bondage, high above in a formation ordered by the Lord.